Now let's shift the focus to Wayanad, which continues to be a site of devastation even 5 days after 3 deadly landslides threw normal life out of gear and have almost wiped out entire towns, roads and homes. The relief and rescue operations, which have been continuing on a war footing, are there in the final stage now. The death toll has crossed 350, while 300 more are still missing, prompting widespread fears that the death toll may surpass 500 as well. In yet another miraculous rescue by the agencies, the Air Force has also rescued 3 people who were stranded near a waterfall in Churaimala for days. The Times Network has been reporting relentlessly from the ground. Take a look at some of these reports coming in from my colleague Deepak.
The Sarang chopper of the Indian Air Force here, coming out to Churaimala, right next to the Bailey Bridge that has been constructed, carrying out a recce operation. They are looking at the possible need for medical supplies or any other essentials, be it for anybody who could still be trapped in the forest area or around the landslide region, or even for the rescue personnel. They have also here, of course, showing the prowess of this particular chopper. Of course, built by HAL. It is an indigenous helicopter. And more importantly, of course, showing its capabilities of hovering in such difficult terrains, landing as well. So this chopper right now, after conducting his recce, going back to base and will be around here for the people when and however they need it.
Now, as rescue ops continue, politicians keep up their visits to the landslide hit town. Days after Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka visited the affected town, today Thiruvananthapuram MP Shashi Tharoor also visited Wayanad and provided locals with relief materials.
No, I mean, government has been doing whatever they can, and so have all the volunteers, including the people from the area itself.
Yeah.
It's a tragic situation. I just brought a couple of truckloads of assistance from Thiruvananthapuram. The people are all anxious to help everywhere in Kerala. And though I understand that food supplies are plentiful in the area, there are other needs. For example, the homeless are sleeping on the floor, and for that they need not sort of full mattresses, but sort of spongy, soft bedrolls to put on the floor that they can sleep on. We've got a whole bunch of those. Other kinds of supplies like that. But the challenges are enormous. First of all, they're still finding bodies. I think it's unlikely to find any live people now, which means that the death toll will keep going up as they find more bodies. There's still a couple of hundred people missing. On top of that, there are larger challenges. The relief camps are mainly in schools, but the schools have to reopen soon. So we need to make arrangements to relocate people into rented or other kinds of accommodation, and then plan their long-term rehabilitation, building houses and so on for them. But though their lives have been saved, what do we do about their livelihoods? Because they are all people who lived here in the farms and the plantations. It's going to be an enormous human challenge. And then the orphans, those who have lost both parents, they need to be taken care of. Their education is going to be a predominant concern. These are some of the things I'm thinking about.
So meanwhile, there's a little bit of a political debate as well, whether the centre had informed the state and the state didn't take necessary precautions when the the weather went bad. Is that something that you?
I don't want to get into the politics of it now. I think both sides have spoken for themselves. As you say, the centre has said they've done certain things, and the state says that the information given was not adequate.
Now, a TMC delegation of MPs, Saket Gokhale and Sushmita Dev, also visited Wayanad and assured the state of all support. They have criticized the centre for not providing Kerala with adequate funds in the budget to deal with the catastrophe.
See, first of all, the kind of catastrophe that has unfolded here calls for serious attention. We first did our part by raising it in Parliament. My colleague will tell you about it. But apart from that, we are unanimous that there has to be proper funding and expeditious funding, because the kind of damage that has been brought to homes and people and schools and infrastructure, rehabilitation is going to be a big challenge. But one thing we will say, it's very painful to hear the Home Minister of India saying on the floor of the House that we gave 3 warnings to the Kerala government. What are the warnings? Heavy rainfall, very heavy rainfall and very, very heavy rainfall. This is not what we expect from the Union Home Minister. And I have seen the way the officers are struggling here, whether it's the collector, whether it's the army or the police and different agencies that have come here, NDRF, SDRF. I think there has been a lackadaisical approach on the part of the Union Home Minister in, forewarning the Kerala government. I'm not saying you can prevent it, but the damage could have been mitigated on a timely warning.
We have been meeting people, and what we're realizing is the relief work is a very small part of it. The rehabilitation that is going to come later is what is going to be the most important, because people are now afraid to go back. They've lost their homes. About 500 homes are going to have to be built again. In this situation, I had raised in the parliament as well, I requested Mr. Amit Shah, through him, to tell the finance minister that in this budget she's announced flood relief for 5 states. She specifically excluded West Bengal, but I'm not going to get into the politics of that. But the budget is still under consideration. What we requested is, if the finance minister can show a little bit of heart, and this disaster has happened while the budget session is going on, if Kerala specifically and also Bengal can be included in the list of states that are getting flood relief, because in North Bengal as well as in Wayanad, we've seen that the situation is extremely bad.
Finally, actor Wayanad also visited the battered region and met those affected by the tragedy. He's also interacted with the army personnel engaged in rescue ops. As the focus shifts from rescue to rehabilitation, the actor also announced ₹3 crore for rehabilitation as the disaster struck victims. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has also contributed ₹1 lakh to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. CPM MLAs will be donating ₹50,000, which is a month's salary, to the relief fund.
He has been given the position of Lieutenant Colonel as well here in the Indian Army. We are also told that he also owns a little bit of property around here in Mundukai and Suramana, around that. He just was at that location now, of course, here to brief the media in just a while from now. And while, of course, we're looking at a lot of people, from politicians to, even actors now paying a visit here. We should note that on one hand, of course, there is a devastation. On the other, the people here are only hoping that there is, enough support that they get in terms of rehabilitation at this point in time. Various announcements have been made by politicians when they come here. Some of the actors have also donated to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. Let me take you through the situation here while, of course, the rescue operations continue. Right now, it has been changed into various phases. Up until now, it was predominantly around the area where the homes were, but now you can see earth movers operating by the river, because through these boulders, through the debris here, many of the people were washed away downstream. So that is where these teams right now that you're seeing are operating at. They are trying to clear up some of the debris around the river to see if there is a possibility that they could find anybody under the rubble there. So it's an extensive operation, and right now it's predominantly search, because the time for rescue is nearly over, and right now it will be only a miracle if they find anybody alive under the rubble. And more importantly, even downstream, about 20 to 30 kilometers, there are teams that continue to operate, and they will do so because about 100 bodies were found in a neighboring district.